Is Disney losing their edge in the wake of all of Universal's big and new upcoming endeavors? Time to catch up with this ultimate battle between the parks here on DFB Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. So Universal Studios has been on a roll lately, right? We've seen park expansions, we've heard about brand new park concepts, we've even learned how Universal's been handling their employee contract battles from a much different approach. So are all these Universal updates keeping the Disney parks in the shadows, or is Disney preparing to thwack us with some heavy hitters of their own? Today, we're going to look at all the new Universal projects popping up on the scene while also comparing them to what Disney's been doing, just to see if Disney's really been taking a backseat or if they've got more going on than meets the eye. We're starting with the big one, Epic Universe. Universal Orlando is getting ready to blow everyone's minds. This resort is currently building its third Florida theme park, known as Epic Universe, which is set to open sometime in 2025. So Epic Universe is going to be located about 2 miles southeast of the existing Universal Orlando parks, meaning it's not going to be a jaunt from park to park like Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida are now. But this expansion means big things for Universal and more competition for Disney World too. Currently, we only have one confirmed land that'll be introduced in the park, and that's Super Nintendo World. More on that here in a second. And though nothing else has been officially confirmed, there has been a lot of speculation about the other Epic Universe lands potentially being based around classic Universal monsters, Illumination's How to Train Your Dragon, and a third Wizarding World area that might drop you into the Ministry of Magic and or the World of Fantastic Beasts. Again, not a whole lot aside from Super Nintendo World has been confirmed about this park yet, but we're still super excited to have another option inside the Universal Florida bubble. We also know that along with Epic Universe, Universal is also currently building a new luxury hotel that'll put you right next to that park gate. This new Marriott branded W hotel will have 400 rooms, a 6-story parking garage, 5 bars and restaurants, including a world famous destination restaurant that we're excited to hear more about, and a separate facility that'll offer concerts and entertainment up to 200 days a year. So is Disney World scheming to build another theme park too? Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but building a 5th park on Disney World property probably isn't on the forefront of the company's mind right now. You see, 4 parks is already a lot for guests to try to accomplish all in one trip. Not to mention, Disney also has Disney Springs, all their different themed resorts, 2 water parks, and golf courses that could easily eat away days of your trip as well. By opening a 5th gate, Disney's running the risk of drawing visitors away from their other parks. Now, you might be thinking, fantastic, fewer crowds. But drawing visitors away from the other 4 parks isn't necessarily the best decision for Disney to make from a financial perspective. Disney wants all its parks to be full and may not want an otherwise awesome park like Epcot or Animal Kingdom to be viewed as the skippable park that you leave out in exchange for the new one. Let's also consider more direct reasons for why Disney's more than likely going to hold off on a 5th gate till the foreseeable future. In just a bit, I'm going to talk more in depth about Disney's ideas for park expansions, but let's start with why you're going to be hearing more about Disney expansions rather than a totally new theme park. Generally speaking, expanding an existing park is much easier than creating something from scratch. For starters, an existing park already has most of the basic infrastructure. It's already got water pipes, an entrance, an exit, parking, transportation, wiring, electricity, all those bare necessities for Disney to use as needed as they're busy molding this new area or experience. And frankly, Disney has shown us its general preference for expansions as opposed to whole new parks. Over the past several years, we've seen Disney open or work on New Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios, the Tron ride in Magic Kingdom, Pandora, World of Avatar in Animal Kingdom, and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in the entire surrounding area as part of the France Pavilion expansion in Epcot. But the last domestic parks Disney has built have been Disney California Adventure in Anaheim and Disney's Animal Kingdom in Orlando, and those were in 2001 and 1998, respectively. So yeah, it's definitely been a hot minute since we've had a brand new Disney park, at least in the US. But one of the most obvious reasons why Disney can't just build a 5th theme park is the sheer amount of effort it would take. It takes years for expansions, new rides, new hotels, and new restaurants to be built. So imagine how long it would take to build an entirely new theme park from scratch and how much effort would be required. A 5th park also comes with a lot of questions that Disney's got to address. Where should it be placed on property? How much space should it have? How many opening day attractions does it need to justify guests purchasing a ticket there and feeling satisfied? How will the roads have to be arranged to lead guests to the park? How will Disney handle transportation of guests from the hotels to this park? Where will Disney build the parking lot? And if all parks are at capacity, does Disney have enough hotel rooms to house a larger number of guests? Does it need more hotels? How many more cast members will they need to hire? The questions are endless. Not to mention, Disney's had their mind on a lot of other things lately, especially when it comes to the Reedy Creek Improvement District debacle, which would play a big part in Disney building a fifth gate. I won't give you all the nitty-gritty about this clash between Disney and the Florida government because that's not the focus of this video, but what you do need to know is that the RCID was created over 50 years ago to essentially help Disney World function as its own county government in Orlando, Florida. For years, it has given Disney a huge amount of power over the land on which it operates, allowing Disney to select the board of supervisors that make critical decisions over the district's land. But there's just been a lot of controversy surrounding the district lately. At first, it was going to be completely dissolved. Now it's set to stay intact but be renamed and have power redistributed to the government-appointed members of the board instead. It's a whole ordeal, and you can read about it on our site. I'll link the post down in the description below. There's also a lot less available space on Disney World property than you may think. The entire Disney World property is very large, about 40 square miles or the size of San Francisco. But not all of Disney's property is actually available for a fifth park. In fact, a lot of it's actually not suitable for building at all. According to a comprehensive plan created by Reedy Creek and adopted in 2010, Reedy Creek did an analysis of undeveloped land and how much of it is sustainable for development. Out of all the acres of undeveloped land, here's a breakdown of what they found. Suitable is 2,825 acres, 19.9% of the undeveloped land. Marginally suitable is 2,256 acres, 15.9% of the undeveloped land area, and unsuitable was 9,093 acres, or 64.2% of the undeveloped land area. Yep, more than half of the undeveloped land on Walt Disney World property is what the district considers to be unsuitable for development. Now, this is an older report, but still, it gives us a general idea of what's actually going on behind the scenes. Basically, yes, there's a lot of land in Disney World, but quite a bit of it is actually totally unsuitable for development of a new park or anything else. Now, is there enough to build a fifth theme park? Definitely looks like it based on the map, but it's still likely a bit more complicated because of, well, everything we just talked about. And of course, the final big kicker, building a fifth park would require a whole lot of money on Disney's end. But to make a long story short, no, Disney World's probably not thinking about building a whole new park in the midst of this governmental back and forth. That's not to say Disney World isn't still looking to expand on the current parks, though. We'll talk more about that next. But unlike Disney World, it was time for Universal to expand to keep guests in their theme park bubble for longer. With 2 parks, a water park, and an itty-bitty city walk, Epic Universe will add a whole other day, if not multiple days, to guests' Universal trips, instead of guests just spending 1 or 2 days on the scene before moving on to the next Orlando destination. Yahoo! Let's go to Super Nintendo World. Super Nintendo World is the newest, highly immersive land at Universal Studios Hollywood. Originally, this land was introduced to Universal Studios Japan before making its domestic debut on the West Coast. In Super Nintendo World, you'll enter the cartoony, colorful gamer realm of Super Mario. Here you'll be able to race down Rainbow Road in Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, eat at Toadstool Cafe where all the food is adorable, like yes please give me that peach cupcake pronto, and collect coins and goodies via your premium interactive power-up bands. Seriously, this place is very cool, and it's packed out right now, but it's still cool. When it comes to Disney's domestic parks, Disney is still managing to throw us a bone or two with some new offerings, though. We've got Tron Light Cycle Run to look forward to on April 4th in Magic Kingdom, Moana's Journey of Water opening at Epcot later in 2023, and we're going to see the Communicore Hall and Plaza centralize those Epcot festivals later in 2023 too. But as far as getting any brand new lands, it's all blue sky in the Disney World department. During the D23 convention last year, Josh D'Amaro, chairman of Disney Parks Experiences and Products, let us have a sneak peek into what big plans they'd like to see in parks like Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom in the future. There was talk about an Encanto-themed area, a Coco-themed area, and a Disney Villains area for Magic Kingdom. And that would be a great parallel for the Universal Monsters Land if Epic Universe really does go that route. And for Animal Kingdom, tomorrow discussed the potential of more Moana-themed experiences and possibly a Zootopia-themed area too that either branch out from Dino Land USA or replace it completely. They weren't super clear about that. As exciting as these future lands could be, nothing's guaranteed yet, and we may not know about the potential of any of these lands until way later on in the future. But here are 4 things we gotta remember. First, Disney World's last big expansion, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios, was back in 2019, and that wasn't too terribly long ago. I know it feels longer thanks to the 2020 closures, but this new land is still a baby compared to some of the other park areas. Second, Disneyland's big expansion was even more recent than that. Avengers Campus opened in 2021 at Disney California Adventure, and they're not done with it yet. We also learned during D23 that Disney's planning on expanding that area into the multiverse with an all-new immersive attraction. Not only that, but we're about to see a major retheme take place over in Disney California Adventure's Pacific Wharf. By this summer, Pacific Wharf will completely transform into San Francisco, bringing with it new restaurants, new shops, and a new Baymax meet and greet location. Third, Disney's been putting a lot of focus on their international parks. For example, a Tangled theme attraction and a Frozen themed land will be upcoming in Disneyland Paris. Frozen will also be added to Tokyo Disney Sea, along with a Peter Pan and Tangled expansion too. But Frozen's not done taking over yet. The World of Frozen expansion at Hong Kong Disneyland will open in late 2023, making it the first to open out of all 3 parks getting those Frozen themed lands. And over in Shanghai Disneyland, a new area will bring the story of Zootopia to life. So just because we're not seeing a whole lot of big movement on the domestic home front currently, like we're used to seeing, that doesn't mean Disney's not up to some big projects at the moment. Now, these big projects just happen to be taking place somewhere else. And fourth, Disney is constantly adding something, whether it be a new ride, a new store, a new restaurant. They're always building and expanding on something. So Super Nintendo World may be taking the spotlight at the moment, but Universal once again needed this new expansion to pull some of that constant attention away from Disney and towards its parks instead. But if you think Universal is going to be satisfied with just expanding their current parks, think again. Universal is getting ready to build an entirely new theme park in Frisco, Texas. But don't plan to visit this park with the intention of riding heavy-duty attractions like Velocicoaster or Revenge of the Mummy. This new park will be more family-oriented and geared toward much younger audiences. So expect to see popular Illuminations and DreamWorks characters like Shrek and the Minions. And if you're looking for a new Universal experience that's a little more adult-oriented, then you'll need to make your way to Las Vegas for the new year-round horror-centric destination coming later on, which will be housed in the Area 15 Entertainment District. This is also where you'll find the Meow Wolf interactive art experience, Omega Mart. You know how Universal has those separately ticketed Halloween Horror Nights events on certain nights throughout September and October? This is basically going to be a Horror Nights experience available winter, spring, summer, and fall, which will incorporate content from classic and new horror films alike. You are more likely going to find me in the Texas Children's Theme Park, not going to lie. All right, Disney, your turn. Where are you guys heading next? Though Disney hasn't announced any new parks or permanent installations in other states, they do have some ongoing touring projects. Anyone familiar with Disney on Ice? Or how about the new Disney animated immersive experience, which reminds me a lot of the Van Gogh interactive experience that's been touring around recently from city to city, but the Disney version of that. Disney has also been zeroing in on their other vacation projects, like their Disney Cruise Line. This past year, we were introduced to the Disney Wish, which brought us new restaurants, a new story-based water coaster, new stage shows, and an all-around new relaxing alternative experience to the parks. And in 2024, another Disney ship will be entering the cruise line fleet called the Disney Treasure. Disney said that the Treasure will have a brand new motif unlike anything the Disney Cruise Line has done before, with a theme of adventure. Inspired by Walt Disney's love of exploration, this new design concept will pave the way for epic experiences that immerse guests in some of the company's most legendary stories. That's all a quote from Disney, if you were wondering. One more ship will also set sail after the Treasure, but we don't know any concrete details about this mysterious seventh ship yet. But Disney's also going to be expanding its private islands. Lighthouse Point will be the second Disney Cruise Line destination in the Bahamas, joining Castaway Cay. This island will give you the ability to explore the natural world around you. We don't have an exact date for when these offerings will become available for travelers, but we'll let you know just as soon as we learn more about them. Though Disney's not in the business of building any new parks right now, they're still building. But families who live closer to the Texas area are sure to be pumped when the new Frisco park hits the scene, and adrenaline junkies who get all sad inside when Halloween wraps up each season will be happy to know it never truly has to end. Not in Vegas. Time to address a more serious subject here: employee and cast member pay. Union workers at Disney World are currently fighting for benefits and higher starting wages. But when Disney offered up a $1 raise toward starting wages as their best offer, the contract was overwhelmingly rejected by union cast members, stating that Disney can indeed do better. According to these unions, cast members need bigger raises sooner because of the rapid cost of living increases in Central Florida. Quote, in December, researchers from Florida Atlantic University stated that the average rent in the Orlando area had increased by 8.14% in 1 year, to an average of $1,995.62, when typically rent usually increases 3% to 5% per year. On the other side of the equation, as cast members and Disney continue to try to reach some sort of understanding, to no avail, Universal went ahead and announced that their starting base rate would be raised to $17 an hour for team members, effective June 4th, 2023. Karen Irwin, President and Chief Operating Officer, Universal Orlando Resort, sent out a letter to the Universal team not only announcing these pay increases, but also letting team members know that they'd soon be upgrading break areas and back-of-house restrooms, as well as enhancing team member dining options. Irwin stated in her letter that, quote, we deeply believe in our mission to provide an inclusive environment where our team members are proud to work, and we remain committed to that focus. Therefore, we continually evaluate our compensation, perks, and benefits programs and why we are committed to engaging with and listening to you. Now, Disney has always been vocal about their appreciation towards cast members, claiming often that cast members are the heart and soul of the parks. But even in light of Universal's actions, many still find Disney to be all words. Some researchers even fear that if Disney and the cast member union don't come to an agreement soon, this back and forth could lead to a potential employee strike. As for what really happens next, we'll have to wait and see. The unions have indicated that they're working on announcing public actions soon, so stay tuned to DFB for more updates. Next, we've got some real juicy drama for you, and it all has to do with a train. Yeah. When Disney's Magical Express retired at the beginning of last year, there were some concerns about how guests were going to make it from MCO and over to their Disney World resort. Of course, Disney came up with quick solutions, which I'll talk about after dishing out the drama, but one of those exciting transportation options was supposed to be the Brightline Express train, a high-speed train. This was originally going to take guests straight from the Orlando airport and over to Disney Springs for an added fee. All airport transportation comes at a price right now. But the tables have turned. Now, instead of a confirmed Brightline station at Disney Springs, there's only a possibility of a station near Disney. So what happened? Well, a lot, but let's just say that the train is now being partially funded by Universal. The story of the Brightline train is a tale of two routes. Brightline had one preferred route near State Road 417 with the Disney Springs stop, but several other entities preferred the iDrive route, which was estimated to cost up to $1 billion more than the State Road 417 route. Some organizations preferred the iDrive route because it would pass through more tourism-heavy areas, and Universal Orlando especially pushed for this route since it would, get this, run near their upcoming Epic Universe theme park. Everything starting to make sense now? Though the disagreement was messy, to put it lightly, it seems both sides could agree on a new solution, the Sunshine Corridor program. In short, this program would mean that Brightline would lease a corridor of tracks from the already existing Sunrail commuter train system, and the two trains would share the path. Back in May of last year, Universal pledged to donate 13 acres and money for an Orange County Convention Center area train station that would be used by Sunrail and Brightline. The Orlando Sentinel reported that about $125 million was promised for the station's construction. Universal and other international drive partners have also guaranteed $13 million annually in ticket sales from this station, and they have committed to giving $2 million annually for maintenance of the station. Now, of course, the whole situation is a lot more involved than just throwing around some dollar signs. We're talking grants and taxes and all that other behind-the-scenes stuff too. But according to Orlando's mayor, Buddy Dyer, the disclosure of Universal's willingness to add money to an east-west expansion is a significant boost. The theme park company's investment alone could amount to the needed local match for federal grants. So, what's the latest update on the Brightline train? Lots of progress. Brightline's 37,350 square foot station at the Orlando airport will be completed sometime this March, though the completion of the station and the start of passenger service are on separate timelines. And with the addition of the Sunshine Corridor, we still might see a possible train stop near Disney World, though we're still not sure exactly what that's going to look like. To be fair, the Orlando airport does have the Mears Express and Sunshine Flyer for you to rely on, which are probably a more convenient means of getting to your hotel anyway, since these premium shuttle services will drop you right off at your Disney hotel instead of Disney Springs. You just have to go to the Mears or Sunshine Flyer website after you purchase your plane ticket and reserve your shuttle seat. Or you can stick with the rideshare route if you're looking for a more personal ride, though prices have the tendency to fluctuate a lot when you're getting a rideshare out of the airport, especially if you're trying to order one around peak traffic times like rush hour. But if you're planning on visiting the new Orlando, Florida park when it opens in 2025, the Brightline train's more than likely going to be a solid option for you right now. When it comes down to brass tacks with these two industry powerhouses, I've got to applaud Universal. You've got a lot of great domestic theme parks out there, but Universal is one of the only ones who can keep up with Disney and keep Disney from monopolizing this game. Though it may seem Universal and Disney are constantly trying to one-up each other, and in some cases that's exactly what they're doing, both companies are separate entities with their own business endeavors and goals to help them improve guests' experiences, while also turning a profit. So yes, while Universal has a lot of shiny new domestic projects currently on the table, being worked on as we speak, Disney's been shifting a good chunk of their focus toward international park expansions, while also keeping domestic guests satisfied with a few new rides and remodels and returning experiences for 2023. In the meantime, don't forget to keep checking back here with the DFB team for all your theme park news and updates. If you want the latest news out of Universal and Disney, go ahead and sign up for our newsletter. The link to sign up is in the description below, and it's totally free. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.